NERA? What do we expect from NERA as an authority? What do you do? What is that responsibility that you majorly hold in Uganda? And we're talking about the nationwide NERA census of students, specifically right now. Previously, we have been dealing with parents, with adults, with the elderly, and now we are looking at students. Very many questions have been looming over this. And lately, I know that you have also this new partnership with UNEP, and parents are still wondering and questioning, what is this? What is that? Where does NERA come in now when it comes to education? What role are they playing? So maybe if you can give us more details on that. Edwin had taken us through some of those, but also just to hear from you, the nationwide NERA census of students, why are you coming up with this partnership as we speak right now in 2023?
I want to thank UBC for the opportunity, as always, that allows us to come and explain and share and create awareness and sensitize the Ugandan people on the importance of being identified and registered as citizens of this country. Back to the question, I'm glad I came with Edwin for the gender balance today.
It makes a lot of sense.
Edwin is the manager of operations and registration. It's the directorate is in charge of the activities of the organization, and it's actually headed by retired Brigadier Stephen Kwirinjira. However, today we are discussing, I'm cautious to use the word census because there is a real census coming.
This one we're cutting it out specifically to NERA and the students.
This, because I don't want the term to be lost in translation. But we are focusing on registration of students. I'm also cautious to use the word registration of learners because we had a registration of learners program that was bittersweet in the mouth of the parents and all the stakeholders that were involved. In 2017 and 18, the organization organized a registration of learners. That registration received 10 million applications. Of the 10 million, 8 million received NINs. However, after that, communication of the NIN to the student was, we did not do it effectively. We did not effectively communicate the NINs to the students. So therefore, it left a lot of anger, discomfort and annoyance in the minds and lives of our clients and stakeholders. So for that, we owe this nation an apology. However, for every bad thing, there is a good side. The good side of that exercise is that 8 million students received NINs. 8 million students received NINs. So, what is this resurrected intervention with the Ministry of Education and Uganda National Examination Board? Last year, Uganda had a journey around its lower secondary curriculum, and there were significant changes to the lower secondary curriculum. The lower secondary curriculum is managed under the Ministry of Education. In that curriculum, it was agreed that rather than have a spot assessment of a student at S4 and S6, they will have the continuous assessment of a student. Why continuous assessment? It is to assess in totality or holistically the capacity of a student across a period of time. Why do we do that? It's sometimes during sport assessments, a student may be afraid, ill-prepared, fall sick, and we kind of do not get a true picture of who they are, or what their capacity or capabilities or skills, or how much they have learned The continuous assessment of a student will allow one to know not just UNEB, but will give focus on the strength of the student across the years. So, students change schools, sometimes quite often. So what the journey was, what is the one thing that can uniquely identify a student and will follow them throughout their life? Because you don't study to remain in school. The purpose for study is employment and career and growth and development, and you seek to improve yourself. So the NIN presented that unique advantage, because the NIN should rightfully be issued at birth and follow you throughout your lifetime.
Yes.
As such, that identifier presented the best case scenario for having a picture of this student across their academic journey. So in essence, continuous assessment is a fact of the Ministry of Education, will be measured by Uganda National Examination Board. Our simple role is to enable this happen, to give visibility to continuous assessment through the NIN. So the journey of your education will be captured against other identifiers. You'll have a school number, UNEB may still give you an index number.
Yes.
But if someone wanted to take a journey through your academic history, your NIN will be a container that tells the story over the years and links it to your employment and to your career. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Now, you've spoken of this registration, and maybe, Edwin, this is where I'd love you to come in. Could you take us through the process of how NERA intends to achieve this, and who else is going to be actively involved in this entire process?
Okay, thank you so much. Right now, we are in holiday. So we've come up with a holiday program that we have called, in simple terms, My Holiday Plot.
Very relatable.
Now, My Holiday Plot applies to students the way ED has put it. But ideally, it means registration of students during this holiday. So NERA will be present at the Boma grounds in 10 cities of Uganda. So we will have a registration center in the Boma grounds in those 10 cities. However, in districts where we do not have cities, we will have a special desk for registration of those students at our district offices. So now that one is during this holiday.
Okay.
But still, after the holiday, when students go to schools, we will still go to schools to find them there. I want also to emphasize that we will be issuing NINs to those who are already registered.
Okay.
Those who are not registered will also be registering them. So we'll actually be doing those two key activities.
Okay.
Yes.
So every parent, you should be concerned because as we speak right now, without a NIN, your child it could truly be a very big challenge in the future. But also I guess that answers the question of accessibility, because you would probably hear very many complaints from different parents. How do we get to the NERA officials to help us out for those of them who can really not access the main cities? But one thing I also need to understand, I do believe that since these are children, underage children below 16 years, they're supposed to be helped by their parents. Ideally, that is what you expect a parent to bring their child for registration or to do the respective things they're supposed to be doing in this whole exercise. So how does this happen? And also, maybe I would appreciate it more if you speak on the case of parents who probably don't have national identification cards, because I know we still have some Ugandans who are falling in that category, Madam Edie. So if you can throw more light on that, how are you going to go about it and address that issue?
Well, every exercise presents challenges. It is the surmounting of those challenges that defines our resilience. For parents who don't have means, come with your child, and we shall start with you, identify you, and also capture your child, and link the two of you. It's also your opportunity to come with your child,
yes,
and get a NIN as well, because it's your right. It's your, being Ugandan is a very precious thing. I know we insult it all the time. We are Uganda Zabu in a very derogative manner.
Yes.
Chirimu Uganda, but there are people who come from nations we admire who really want to be Ugandan.
That's true.
It's a fight we have every day to try and keep them off our register. And as this nation grows in wealth, it is going to become a bigger fight. So, back to your question. If you're a parent and you are not identified and you are living, come along with your child, we shall identify you and link the two of you. Secondly, if your parents are not living, your grandparents can identify you if they are living and have means, or children of your grandparents, because the Constitution says you obtain citizenship from your parents or from your grandparents. Therefore, if your grandparents are not living and your parents are not living, your auntie, Senga Koja, can identify you because they are children of your grandparents who are identified. Your sister and brother can identify you because in case they too are identified. If you are not literate, you can't read or write. Nira has given you this 4-page form. The words are small, you don't even see them.
Yes.
So what do? That is where, if you're at our offices, somebody will guide you on what, because the student can read and write. The parent is there to give the information, and there will be people who will help. But they, however, should not fill your form. I repeat that. Our staff should not fill your form because it is your declaration. You need to own that information. And I also want to take this opportunity to speak to students. In our last exercise, people looked at their friends and said, I think I want to be 15 years, much as I'm 12. And you know the peer pressure and excitement.
It's very influential.
So people are like, okay, I'm 15 when I'm 12. It catches up with you. You'll have to make correction to that. And it makes you look, I don't want to use the word fraudulent, but it can make you look fraudulent. So during this time of giving your information, it is critical that you give us a true and accurate record of your heritage, who are your parents. Some people, out of peer pressure, because I love Auntie Filimona, I'm going to put her as my mother.
Yes. Okay?
No. This is the time to tell us who your mother is, even if you hate her. So let us, what we'd like to emphasize of this exercise, there are facts about your life that don't change. Your mother doesn't change. Your father doesn't change. The day you were born do not change. So do not take this opportunity to produce new facts about who you are, because the facts about your life will catch up with you. So I want to speak to students specifically and ask you, take this opportunity to record an accurate record of who you are, who your parents are, and where you will live and where you go to school. Because this information follows you throughout your life. You will check this register. I'm amazed when people are registering the SIM,
yes,
and they're checking the register of information they have made probably on a day they were angry or not bothered or something. So students, reach out to Boma Grounds, reach out to NERA offices, reach out to where we are, and take this opportunity to register. The holiday is fast spent, and I'm sure some people are saying, why didn't you people start early, blah. There was the Christmas break, and the Christmas break comes with its all sorts of, programs.
Yes.
Some parents are traveling up country where they don't usually live, and so many other things. So we didn't think it was an opportune time to begin this exercise. That said, take this opportunity. If you have any challenges, reach out to us. Reach out to us through our social media handles. Reach out to us through those who are asking you for money. Those who are saying, give me money for you to register. Raise an alarm. Students, you know how to name and shame.
Yes.
Name and shame. Okay? Thank you.
Well, the discussion right now is about registration of learners. NERA is actually rooting for holidays for registration of learners countrywide. The issue here is to make sure you get that NIN as a student if you're below 16 years, if you've never gotten this NIN. And because it's very important, right now we are seeing the changes that are happening in the education ministry. And of course, not just only education, we have very many other ministries where NERA has quite a lot of work they do. As actually told before, they are the foundational, you called it the foundational register. So it's not only, we can't look at it only in the perspective of the Ministry of Education, but also because we're talking about learners, it's very, very important that we make some clarities. And we are very lucky this morning that I am joined with by the Executive Director, that is Miss Rosemary Kisembo, and also Edwin Tukamhewa, the Manager, Registration and Operations at NERA. Now, if you have any questions, you need some clarity on a few things here and there, make sure you use our social media platforms, get into our Twitter. The hashtag is UBCGMU, and also make use of our WhatsApp platform. Send us your questions. The number is 0709 602 592. Now, Edwin, do we have a timeline for this exercise? Do we have a deadline that we are looking at?
Thank you. Maybe before we go into the deadline,
yes,
what we didn't also tell are the students within Kampala Metropolitan. Now, we have a special arrangement for those who live within Kampala City, Wakiso, and Mukono. Now, those ones will reach to our district offices. In Kampala, we have 4 district offices.
Okay.
We call them district offices. We have an office in Makindye. We have an office on Lumumba Avenue for Kampala Central. We have an office in Kawempe. We have an office in Ntinda, which serves Nakawa Division, and we have an office in Rubaga. For Wakiso, we have an office in Naruvure, and we have an office in Entebbe. So during weekdays, students can access us by going to our those district offices.
Okay.
However, on weekend, we will be serving them from Kororo.
That is Saturday
and Sunday.
Okay.
Actually, starting with this Saturday, we will have quite a number of officers, actually many of them ready and waiting for the students to come for registration and to come and receive their NINs.
Okay.
Now, when I go to your question, We have not put a time limit to this exercise.
We're just taking advantage.
We are taking advantage of this holiday program, but after the holiday, we will continue to register learners and issuing them with their names throughout. And registration, by the way, is a continuous activity. It never stops.
Yes.
So we will not stop, but we want to take advantage of these two opportunities.
Especially now that the students are not exactly engaged with academic
Yes,
serious
very much.
academic activities, so it makes a lot of sense. Speaking of this exercise, Madam ED, I know that of course we would need some equipment. Anyway, I don't know if we need equipment, need serious equipment. Now, the last time we had a conversation here, there are a few things that you pointed out that were, you know, a major challenge for NERA as an authority to fully and efficiently execute their duties and responsibilities. You talked about the outdated machinery. Now, my issue here, my concern that I would also really love you to address, are we going to need serious equipment in this exercise? And also, do you have access to the more, what would be the opposite of outdated? Maybe new or modern. Yes, cut-edge technology. Yes. Do we have that? Are we not going to incur experiences like, you see, this machine is behaving or is not behaving, and we are losing probably some information? Is that a challenge that you've already have an answer to? I hope the answer is yes.
Mona is trying to answer my question.
I am just praying that the answer is yes.
Okay. In essence, not this month.
Okay.
But probably in 6 months, we'll have the latest technologies. But for this particular registration, we'll still have our obsolete technologies. So we'll ask you to bear with us in their slowness and all. But in the upcoming exercise in June, where we'll have a mass enrollment and registration, hopefully we shall have the latest and greatest technologies. I don't want to go to that exercise, and I don't want to veer to it despite the questions that might come.
Yes.
Because today's focus is registration of the students during holiday, what we have termed holiday plot, NERA's holiday plot. So in this sense, to your question, for this holiday, we do not have the latest and greatest technologies. Hopefully by June, we'll have the latest and greatest technologies to effect the exercise. But because of the importance of the exercise and the fact that the education year starts in January,
yes,
we cannot wait for the latest and greatest. We will do what we can with what we have. So what we ask you to do is to come and at least let's take your biometrics and let's take your data, your biodata. And even if you go to school, let us remain with your biodata and your biometrics for us to do the processing. And please give us a contact number where we can, a number that exists and works, whereby we can, when we have gotten all your details, we can let you know that we have achieved that particular, this is your NIN and this is where we should find it. We will not put your NIN in your message. We will simply say that your NIN is now ready. Yeah. So why is this a very good opportunity as well? Holidays, children are with parents. You, parents, take your child through their heritage. Who is their father? Who is their grandfather? Where were they born? Where do they come? Some people in Kampala think that they are born and that come from Kampala. No,
yes.
You have a heritage that is probably outside here, and it's a good time to learn what it is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I do have a few questions coming in here. There is a lady called Henrietta. She's asking, she says the sensitization could be a bit lacking because I and a couple of my parent friends were not aware of this. Maybe just, Edwin, to throw clarity, any sensitization being done about this program and how far with it?
Okay, first and foremost, we are sensitizing them now.
Yes.
So we are very glad that, Henrietta, you've actually aired that out, but we also want you to to take this opportunity to share this information that we have given you with the parent friends that you have.
Yes.
However, we have also publicized this information on our website, on our social media handles, and actually, you will even see our trucks moving around, our mobile communication trucks moving around, sensitizing people. Yesterday, our ED here and UNEB officials were at the media center, still doing the same. And we are not going to stop. You'll hear us on radios, you'll still see us on TVs, you'll hear us everywhere. So we acknowledge that this is the beginning, but we'll put in more effort.
Okay.
I want to also make a comment on that. I will first answer the who, what, when, where, and how.
Okay.
Who? A student, especially S1, S2, and S3. Because continuous assessment is going to start with S3.
Yes.
It's going to, this year 2023, S3 is in first term, will begin with continuous assessment. If you want to remember it quickly, S3, 2023. Continuous assessment will begin with S3s in 2023. Number 2, how? Come with a photocopy of your parents' ID. Come with a photocopy of your parents' ID. If you have one of, even if you have only a photocopy of one of your parents, it's enough for us to register you, because the law says either of your parents can register you as a Ugandan. So even if your father is Chinese,
yes,
but your mother is Ugandan, come with a photocopy of your mother's ID. Number 3, come where? Come, if you are in the 10 cities, come to the bomber grounds of those cities. If you are not in the 10 cities, go to the NERA registration office. Number 4, how? When you arrive at our offices, we shall probably sanitize you. You write in a book. We shall give you an enrollment form. If you have come with your parent, which is also a good idea, let you and your parent fill this form. If you are not comfortable, you can pick the form and take it home and fill it with your parent. After you fill that form, at the bottom of that form is, I declare that this is a true and accurate record. That sounds like just a small thing you see on all forms, but it comes back to haunt you. When you say, I forgot it wasn't my father, I wrote my uncle. It comes back to what? To haunt you. That you declared that this was a true and accurate record of the information you are giving us.
And you signed against it.
Signed against it. Furthermore, the law has provisions for prosecution of the fact that if you were lying to us, okay? But it's something that haunts you throughout your life, because many people access our data. Embassies access our data when you go to them. Many people access our data. So that is the who, that is the how, that is the when, that is the what. But I also want to call upon Ugandans. This time, let us not post the chikomando we are eating. Let us encourage each other to go and register.
Yes.
Let us not post our angry moments in traffic. Let us tell others, because yes, NERA has the responsibility and mandate to create sensitization and awareness. But today, Philomena is going to talk to probably 20 or 30 people who I may not reach. Please inform them. Tell them NERA is registering learners. If your child is in the lower curriculum, please. But all of them should go.
Yes.
Now, the other announcement I would like to, because awareness and sensitizations are not opportunities that I usually have. If you are a pregnant woman, you are carrying child.
Exactly.
And you are not registered. Register now in these 9 months so that you can register your child 30 days after they are born, as the law prescribes. So it's, let's, you know, sometimes we like last minute, you know, deadline,
yes,
precious, what we can do, government, but let us, if you are a mother carrying child, you've heard that we have started a continuous assessment in S3. Tomorrow it will be in P6. The next day it will be in P2. Please register your child as soon as they are born.
Possible,
so
yes,
that you take away that crisis, you know, and have your child have a need right at birth.
Yes.
In Africa, the birth registration rate is 50%. Uganda, we are far below that. What does that mean for 50%? It means that by the time a child is 1 year in Africa, 50% of them already have a need. But in Uganda, I don't even want to mention the statistic because it's a shame to me. But my request is that as a mother, as a parent, register your child right from the time they are muwere or baby.
Yes.
Up to this time. But for this particular focus, let us focus on S1, S2, S3, those in the lower school curriculum. But if you are in P6 and want to go to the bomber grounds to register, do not be held back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That right there is the Executive Director for National Identification and Registration Authority, Miss Kisembo Rosemary. Well, Edwin Tukamheba, thank you so much for joining us. This gentleman is the Manager, Registration and Operation at NERA. We love you, but we have to leave you, but make sure you do what you have to do as a parent. Please make use of this holiday time. There is no deadline, but the sooner you can do it, the better. We need to have our children, our learners, especially, we are not saying only, but especially those in the lower or level curriculum, we need to have them registered by NERA. The conversation is still going on, by the way, on our socials. Go ahead and let us know. We will always deliver the message. Sports updates coming in right after this with Ruben Mpima Chibidango. I am Philomena Masco. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Our sign out is it's free. It's free of charge.
Oh,
it's free of charge.
Okay.